Good
morning, man.
Brandon, these days you're not in the playoffs. What are they like for the guys as you kind of sort of take stock and reflect on the season and what's ahead for you guys?
Yeah, it's one of those. I think the best thing you said, you just got to reflect on the season. You can take some time to do that. It's unfortunate, and then when you can get back to work, and remember what this feeling feels like.
Berman.
Speaking of reflecting, Brandon, how do you look back on your season this morning?
I honestly haven't had time to really reflect that fast yet. Still moving around, but at the end of the day, we didn't get our goal, and that's postseason and beyond. And but you let that be a chip, going into this offseason. And like I said, remembering what this feels like and getting together and working together, so we don't have this feeling again.
What is it like not knowing? I mean, you don't know where the organization is headed with a head coach and GM. Does that concern you much as a player, or how do you view that?
No, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned at all.
John?
Brandon, they're hoping to re-sign Fuller. If you get Fuller back and you saw what QT and Hansen could do at the end of the season, what are this passing game capable of next year? And I've got one other question about how much you saw Deshaun grow this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think, this offense has so much tremendous growth ahead of it, from a playing with one another standpoint. The fact that the way Deshaun's been growing all year, and, just the jump that he had from last year to this year, you expect another jump like that just because of the work that he puts in.
Adam Wexler.
Hey, Brandon, a lot of the stuff you're talking about with the future and with Deshaun, with a change in personnel or coaching staff, and you've seen it so many times yourself, could that stunt that? Is he so advanced that he probably can get past that, even if there are obviously changes to the system this offseason?
Absolutely. I think he's special regardless, no matter what. And I think he can get, past anything like that. Yep.
Is it still safe to say y'all's offense was much better later in the season than before the season, though, in light of this season was a new season with changes?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. I mean, you just look at the first half compared to the second half. Timmy, like I said, the way that TK and talking about Tim Kelly has grown throughout the year, gosh, it's just like night and day from the beginning to the end. And you got to just put your respect on his name for that. And then just us gelling together as an offense more and more,
And if you'll allow, the question I attempted to ask yesterday was, did you know the flea flicker was going to work when it was sent in and got called?
Oh, that's what you said. I got you. I was pretty confident that, especially the way David was running the ball. You expected those guys to suck up. And Deshaun delivered a great ball. Coach TK, he called it at a great time. So pretty confident in it working.
Aaron Reese.
Brendan, your numbers really bounced back this year from the year before. What do you attribute that to, whether it's something you did individually or schematically, things that kind of opened up for you here that weren't the case last year?
I think last year was just a lot going on. Don't want to speak about last year. I'm just blessed to be able to finish this season on a high note the way that I did, with great players around me, great quarterback, great coaches. So I'm just thankful from that aspect.
Cody Stutes.
Brandon, you've been around some very successful coaches in the NFL. What do you think is something the team needs to look for in their next head coach? What have you seen from the guys that you've played under that needs to be present in the next Texans head coach?
I'm sorry, Cody. I haven't even thought about that. I really haven't. It just was being in the moment and playing with the guys that I have. But you just trust on ownership and those guys to be able to take care of that.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about Nick Caserio. Just what are your impressions of him as a person and as a overall football man?
Nick Caserio?
Yeah, Nick Caserio.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You talk about a guy that's he's a special dude. I remember our time back when he actually worked me out. He was one of the guys that worked me out coming out of college. It was just me and him and Corvallis in the indoor. Actually, it was pretty dark in there because we couldn't find the lights, but we still found a way to be able to make it work. And playing with him in New England for that year, just a guy that he is. There's no ego. He's all about helping the team in whatever he can. He thinks he still can play quarterback, so he threw us a lot of balls in practice. But he's a great dude, a great, smart man that's been behind another great man. So,
Cody Davis.
Hey, Brandin. After a full season of playing alongside Deshaun Watson, how does he compare to other great quarterbacks you played with, like Tom Brady and Drew Brees?
I mean, he's great. He's great as well. I never get into the comparison game just because each and every one of those guys are their own type of quarterback. But like I say about them, they're great, and he's great too.
John.
Brandon, I want to ask you about another guy you worked with, Terry Fontenot of the Saints. People are saying he's finally got a chance to be a general manager. What do you think about him from your years there, and do you think he's ready?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I mean, that's so long ago. I can't even really comment on that. He's a great man the time that I, spent with him. But never really spent too much time with him like that. It was just those 3 years a while back. So there's been a lot going on since. So,
Anyone else? All right, thanks, Brandon.
Thank you all for your hard work this year. We really appreciate it. In the midst of everything that's going on, just want to thank y'all for still showing up. Blessings over you and your family. Happy New Year's. And we hope you have a safe 2021, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How much of your success was because of Tim Kelly, and would you like to see the new coach keep Tim?
Most definitely. I mean, Tim, over the past 2 years, have really taken my game to a whole nother level. As far as just knowledge, reading defenses, understanding run points and run schemes, understanding, the way of, different concepts and different situations. So his knowledge of just the game of football is very, very bright. And, he really helped me take my game, especially this year, the best football I've played in my career.
As the best player on the team, do you feel comfortable reaching out when the new coach is hired and putting in a good word for Kelly?
Oh, most definitely. I've already done that, to the ownership. I had a call with Kelly yesterday, and they know that. So I have all the respect and love for Tim, and definitely want him around as long as possible.
Sarah?
I know you took a step forward this year in a lot of different areas, but is there something you can point to why your interception rate just was so much better this year?
Nah, I mean, just taking care of the ball, knowing where to go with the ball, being more accurate and anticipation on different concepts, and really just pitting the ball in the right place, instead of, into the defensive guy's hands, into, my receiver's hands.
Is there something you're most proud of this year?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is playing another full year. 3 in a row, making, a Pro Bowl. Of course, all the individual stats, but just being able to accomplish the things I accomplished, through, dysfunctional year, pretty much. So I think I'm pretty proud of that.
Mark Berman.
Deshaun, as much as you can share, what were you and JJ discussing as y'all walked off the field yesterday, and what was that like as you and him, after the last game of the year, walked off together?
I mean, it was just tough. I mean, we didn't want the season to end like this. We wanted to win that game, but we just didn't want to. That just summed up the whole year. That the last couple minutes, and it was just tough. So we just kind of just walked off together and just kind of, salute to our fans and appreciate the fans, and then, went into the locker room and, just had a moment as a team.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, good morning, Deshaun. Deshaun, you've been part of the championship college team. You've seen what leadership is like. You've been part of division champions here. What do you ideally hope for in a leader from a coach? Just what are some of the qualities you'd like to see in a head coach? And what do you hear about Eric Bieniemy in general? I know you mentioned him a little bit before, the conversations you've had with some of the Chiefs guys. Thank you.
We just need a whole culture shift. We just need new energy. We need discipline. We need structure. We need a follower or a leader, so we can follow that leader as players. And that's what we need. And, we got to have, the love of just not just the game of football, because that's what we do, but the love for people and the people in this organization. We all got to be on the same page. There's too many different minds and too many different ideas and too many people thinking that they have this power, and it's not like that. We need someone that stand tall, and this is who we follow, and this is the way it goes. Like I said yesterday after the game, and we're going to do it this way to win. And like I said, I haven't met. I probably met him, I think, through passing Eric. I think after a couple games we played the Chiefs. Haven't really sat down or been around him too much, but I heard nothing but great things about him. So, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I heard nothing but great things from coach and all the players in the KC about Eric.
Brandin.
Deshaun, was there any level of discomfort for you during that time when y'all didn't have a traditional general manager set up, when it was the coach being the general manager and things were just seemed a little bit shaky?
Nah, honestly, I wasn't even worried about that. I was just worried about playing football. The whole GM and coach situation right there, I was just, that I didn't want that to be a distraction for me and my game and the things that I wanted to try to accomplish for this year.
And then also, there's a lot of conversation, I guess, among us about whether you guys should hire a defensive-minded coach or an offensive-minded coach. Does that matter to you, and should it matter one way or the other whether the coach is defensive-minded or offensive-minded?
I'm not sure what exactly the ownership and the people in the head office want to do, but whoever it is, like I said before, is just got to come in with a great structure and plan and discipline, and making sure that everyone around us is on the same page and we're accountable for every action that we make. And, we're all striving to go for one goal, and that's, raising that trophy. But it's got to start, from the bottom, and we got to build up. And it might take some time, but we all can't be impatient. We can't get discouraged. We just got to go take it one step at a time and go get it.
Christy.
Hey, Deshaun, I know the season was difficult for you at times with the way things went, but I wondered, now that you've gone through it, do you think that going through the trials that you went through this year will help you in the future and maybe taught you some lessons that you'll be able to use as you move forward and try to get the team the first championship?
Of course, yeah. Every good, bad, ugly experience is definitely a learning lesson. That's how I've always looked at life. So, even if we went 12-4 this year, and it would have been a great learning experience. So, you take the bad and you turn it into positive and use that momentum to continue to improve your game and me as a person and learn from different experiences that, happened this year.
Kim Davis.
Hey, Deshaun, what is different about you at the end of this season that wasn't in previous years, and how will you approach this offseason?
There's no different for me. I mean, I've same person, same quarterback, same everything. This offseason, of course, go harder than I did last year, and bring a lot more people around with me whenever that time is, and just kind of just going from there. Just continue to go to work and prove myself.
Maybe I mean more so as where you've grown. Like each year, you've learned more about the game. You've gotten more comfortable. As you look at where you sit now in your NFL career, is there anything that's different, or that the place that you've seen the most growth in you professionally?
Yeah, I would say just me as a quarterback, and just me as a sergeant, and me as a leader, and knowing who I am as a player. Have definitely grown over the years and especially this season. And I just want to continue to take my game to another level. And regardless of all the things that's going on, I always have that confidence and courage to be able to know that, when I step on the field, I'm the best player on the field. So,
thank you.
John.
Deshaun, when the Colts season is over, the Texans plan to interview their defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. You've played against him 7 times. What do you think about him as a coach? And if you hire a defensive head coach, would that help Tim keep the job as the play caller?
Yeah, from what I've heard and played against, Matt's been he's been very, very disciplined. That's the type that you want, from the players. And the scheme that I've been playing against Indianapolis, they're about what they do, and they do it perfectly. And they understand, different concepts and what they want to do as a, Indianapolis Colts defense. And that's why they've been so successful. So from what I've heard, too, about him, he's been, he's a great guy to play for. And, of course, he's a defensive-minded coach. And, I think it'll help him. But, we'll see. It's so much of the unknown and so much of, this is the first time I've been through it, so it's kind of hard to have, a vision, without, any experience and any guidance with it.
You said before you want to make sure the team re-signs Fuller. Considering how well you did with a lot of receivers not named Fuller or Randall Cobb, how much better do you think this offense could be next season if Will comes back and is able to play a full season?
Oh, yeah. It can be very, very explosive. It can be very scary. Last night we put up however many yards, over 400 yards and 38 points against a playoff team, and we did it against the Colts twice, and we did it, versus a lot of teams. So, yeah, the potential is there, and, hopefully we can get him back. I'm definitely going to be on that, with the organization and with him. I actually saw him before I came in today, and, we sat and talked in the parking lot a little bit. So, we all on the same page and what we want to do, and hopefully we can get them back with Cobb and, Brandin here, and, get some other guys, some other pieces that help us out, and we can really take another step, especially offensively.
We'll take these last 2. Aaron Reese.
Hey, Deshaun, you guys led the league in passing on early downs this year. I'm just wondering what does that do for you as a quarterback in terms of kind of the looks you get when you guys are passing more on early downs versus in more kind of conventional passing situations, 2nd and long or 3rd and long, stuff like that?
I think the biggest thing is defenses have to respect it. I don't know if we're going to pass or run or what the situation is going to be. So, you can't do the things that you want to do in certain situations, bringing pressure and things like that. So you just got to be aware and, stick to the guns.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Deshaun, I think you'll probably take some time off. How are you feeling here health-wise at the end of the season? Took some sacks, and obviously you stayed off the injury report the entire year, but just how are you feeling? Will you need to have anything addressed surgically at all in the offseason? Are you completely healthy and ready to get back to work fairly soon?
I'm healthy. I'm ready to get back to work tomorrow, so I'm all good. Yeah, no, none of that stuff. I'm healthy, ready to go, and ready to get ready for 2021.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Deshaun.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. It was only the second time you guys haven't competed in a playoff race. What's that been like for you, considering you've been around a while? And how close do you think you will be to turning it around?
It's tough. First of all, we've been very fortunate. Obviously, in the NFL, it's not easy to make it to the playoffs, and we have in the past. And that's a testament to this team. This year it didn't work out, and it's not fun. You always want to compete. I mean, that's why you play, right? You want the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl. You want to play in those playoff games, have that atmosphere. Even yesterday, the crowd. I mean, on some of those third downs, you thought it was the stadium was completely filled because it got so loud. It was such an intense game. And then moving forward, we're very fortunate because we have the hardest piece of the puzzle is the quarterback, and we have that in Deshaun. That's no secret. So I think it's going to be a quick turnaround. It's never easy in this league, but like I said, we definitely have the hardest piece of the puzzle.
Aaron.
Hey, Nick, when you look at the season and some of the things that happened, do you kind of, now as you reflect, think back on it and say, you know what, this is obviously a huge motivational chip for the offseason. Kind of, what is the mood for you and kind of the guys in the locker room as you walk out of here today and take some time for yourselves?
There's no doubt it's motivation. Like John said before, we've made the playoffs, and we know we have the taste of the playoffs, and that's the goal, is to get back there and continue to win games. So not making it hurts, but it's been, as everyone knows out there, a incredibly tough year. A year of, when you reflect, you learn a lot about yourself, about your teammates. And the one thing, I'm so proud of this team, the way we fought. We easily could have packed it in weeks ago, and we didn't. We fought every game. We scratched and clawed, and obviously we didn't get the outcome we wanted, because at the end of the day, people chalk it up wins and losses, and that's how you're measured. But we definitely fought, and that's just a testament to the guys in this locker room and on this team.
Nick, you played against twice a year Matt Eberflus, the Colts defense coordinator. What do you think of the kind of defenses he runs and just the kind of the way his guys play for him?
You say the Colts?
Yeah, Matt Eberflus.
No, they do a great job. Obviously, when you're a divisional game, you play them twice a year. You're going to know a little bit more, especially them. We played them, was it twice in 4 weeks or whatever it was. You pick up on little things, whether it's verbal calls, alignments, whatever it is. But he does a good job game planning. But we do too. And Tim Kelly and Anthony Weaver does a great job. And those divisional games are always tough. And obviously we had some close ones there that we probably should have pulled out. But like I said, any divisional game, there is little things you definitely pick up on. You definitely have one or two more game plan things, and you always want to win those ones.
Berman.
How you doing, Nick? I want to ask you about what Deshaun just said to us a few minutes ago. I asked about what the Texans need going forward and their new head coach, that kind of thing. He said we need a whole culture shift. We need an energy. We need discipline, structure. We need a leader. We've got to be on the same page. Too many different ideas, too many people thinking they have the power, and it's not like that. We need someone to stand tall. From where you sit, what do you think about that, and how do you view that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think with anything, any organization, any business, it always starts at the top. So we definitely want a guy to come in here, set a standard, hold it accountable. And, that goes to players too. I mean, we have to hold each other accountable, us as captains and leaders, and Deshaun and I and JJ and, AJ and Dylan, everybody. Like we have to hold the players accountable too. But there's no doubt that it does start at the top, because that's where people look at any, like I said, organization, obviously football, sports, but really any business in the world.
John.
How do you feel the line played overall? And also, you took a huge drop with running game. What do you guys up front got to do to be better next season?
Yeah, we did. First and foremost, I'm very, very proud of the offensive line, especially in A-Rod and Charlie Heck coming in, fighting to the finish, playing well. It wasn't easy. Heck, it's not funny, sorry, but Heck, he popped his finger out, and he's mid-game. They couldn't get it back in. They wanted him to go to the locker room, pop back in, and he stayed out there. He goes, no, tape it up. I'm going to fight through it, with his finger, turned sideways. And stuff like that you're so proud of. And but we have to fight more. We have to scratch and claw to get those yards, fight for David or Duke or whoever's carrying the ball. We have to run the ball better, because that makes it easier on Deshaun. That makes the play action, the passing game work, makes pass pro easier. And that's on us. There's no doubt about it. So we got to run the ball better next year.
Go ahead, John.
Nick, you lost to the Titans twice on the last play. You got to the Colts two times. Does that bode well for the future for the Texans in the AFC South, the way you played those teams this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think those games as divisional games, they're always going to be close. You want to win them by more. It's not going to be, Deshaun's rookie year where you beat him by, 40 points or where it was every time. But it does. I mean, definitely there's no moral victories, but it does give you, that hope of next year we're going to be good. And like we were talking about earlier, we're close. Like I said, we have that hardest puzzle piece in Deshaun. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to fight and make plays, and we got to build around him and, win those games next year at the end of the day.
Thanks, Nick.
Tyrell, do you think it's fair to judge Weaver on this season, considering all the injuries, COVID-19 issues, and Roby's suspension?
Of course not, man. Weave did the best he could with what was kind of thrown at him this year, and hats off to that man. Man, he put up the best fight he could and tried to put guys in the best position he could, and he did his best he could. Honestly, gave us all the chance, believed in us, believed in every man that got thrown in there, despite what was going on around him. So it was a tough situation, man. I know he was hard on himself about it, but man, so appreciative of what he done and how he kind of like handled everything.
Berman.
Hey, Terell, Deshaun said when talking about what they need, what the team needs in a new head coach, said we just need a whole culture shift. We need new energy. We need discipline and structure. We need a leader. We all got to be on the same page. Too many different ideas. Too many people thinking they have this power. It's not like that. We need someone to stand tall. How do you feel about that, Terell?
I mean, you kind of hit everything on the head. Again, just having some leadership and just those culture shifts. But he hit everything on the head. I totally agree with him.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Terell, how you doing?
Good.
You look at your growth as a player, I would imagine you probably always had this confidence that if you got the playing time that you could be productive and do the things you did. Did anything surprise you about how you played, or is this something kind of that you felt all along that you were capable of?
I definitely felt like I was always capable of playing. I think the biggest thing also was just proving to myself I could play. Sometimes kind of defeating those mental mental thoughts of just not being able to because you lack of opportunities or whatever it may be. But I kind of always believed in myself and kind of told myself you could do it once you get a chance. And I'm thankful for the chance I got, but there's a lot to work on, a lot of things I kind of feel like I left out of there, things I got to work on, kind of mold and craft to be better in the following years. So.
Before the holiday, you'd said that you hope to be back. Obviously, some things would have to be worked out contractually for that to happen. Just your thoughts on these guys and also what you may have shown to the rest of the league with the production you had this year and the plays you made.
Man, I'm so thankful for Houston. Houston actually kind of like it's one of the main teams that kind of gave me a big shot as far as playing on special teams and then growing into a defensive role and kind of having trust in me. So my heart's here in Houston. I love being in Houston. Somewhere I want to be. But we'll see how things work out, but it's definitely somewhere I want to be.
Adam Wexler.
Hey, Tyrell, in yesterday's game on the Titans' last touchdown drive, on that 1st and goal play, you made a nice read on that pass to Jonnu and knocked it away. Did you feel like you could have made the play, made the interception? Obviously, a huge moment there.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of them that's been kind of haunting me since that night. Could have ended the game there. It was a good play, but especially on this level of playing ball, take it to the next level, making it the great plays, actually intercepting the ball and kind of ending the game there and put the team in a better position. So I've been kind of thinking about that one a lot. And I got to turn it into a great play. This league needs great players and not just good sometimes. So,
thanks,
Herman.
Terell, what was it like for you and your teammates when that field goal, their winning field goal, careened off the upright and went through?
I think it's kind of like the kind of just show kind of like how our season's been right there and then snatched away every time. So, I mean, this football, things happen, but you wish you weren't in that position, but hey.
Thanks, Tyrell.
Appreciate it.